feel tensions rising. I hear voices in my head. They counsel me, they understand. They talk to me. They talk to me. They tell me things that I will do. They show me things I'll do to you. They talk to me. Talk to me, talk to me, talk to me. They talk to me. Talk to me, talk to me.
What's up, you YouTubers? This is HarpyHunter89 coming at you from the Duelist Den, and the voices in my head have told me it's time to do my next updated deck profile. Now, this is, of course, my Jackpot 7 deck profile. Now, some of you may have seen my previous Jackpot 7 deck profiles. While a good portion of this deck is still the same, since my last profile, there have been some major updates to this deck. So, let's go ahead and get started. Now, the main focus of this deck is to stall your opponent out, and the best way to do that is with hand traps. So, for the hand traps, we of course have a deck set of Speedroid Menko. We have a deck set of Swift Scarecrow, and a deck set of Battle Fader. Now, all of these hand traps are designed to do one thing, and that is to stop your opponent from attacking. In the case of Battle Fader, it lets you special summon it to end the battle phase. In Swift Scarecrow, you discard it to the graveyard in the battle phase. And in Menko's case, you special summon it in attack position to switch all your opponent's monsters to defense. So these are your primary hand traps in the deck. Next up, we have another attack stopper which serves a dual purpose, and it is Cyber Valley. Now, like I said, this does serve a dual purpose. Cyber Valley has 3 different effects, but we're only going to go over 2 of them right now because those are the 2 that we actually use. The first effect is if this card is attacked, you can banish it to end the battle phase and then draw a card. The second effect is that you banish both Cyber Valley and another monster you control to draw 2 cards. So not only does this card prevent your opponent from attacking, but it also allows you to draw cards. And the great thing about this is that cards like Skill Drain can't stop this, because banishing this card is the cost to activate the effect. So once you can, even if they have Skill Drain on the field, you can activate this effect, it banishes itself for the cost, and then you get to draw 2 cards. So it's pretty wicked. Next up, we have 2 copies of Dragonox, the Empowered Warrior. Now, the monster effect you will almost never use. I mean, I haven't had any reason to use it yet. What you're mainly concerned about is the Pendulum effect. Now, the Pendulum effect states that if this card is in your Pendulum zone, and your opponent declares an attack, you can destroy this card to end the battle phase. So it's sort of like a Cyber Valley, just a little bit watered down version of a Cyber Valley. For the draw monsters in the main board, we've got 3 Carcardees. Carcardee is pretty simple. Sacrifice it, draw 2 cards, instantly end the battle phase. For the final monster and the boss monster of the deck, we have Dark Scorpion Burglars. Now, you may be wondering why Dark Scorpion Burglars is the boss monster, and we'll get into that here in a little bit. For the starting lineup of the spells, we of course have the card that the deck is named after, and that is a deck set of Jackpot 7. Now, if you're running this deck, you need to have 3 copies of it, Jackpot 7, in your deck, because when Jackpot 7 is sent to your graveyard while it's in your possession, whether it be your hand, deck, or field, by an opponent's card effect that's sent there, it banishes itself, and when 3 of them are banished by their own effects, you automatically win the duel. For draw power, we've got an Upstart Goblin, a 1 Day of Peace, and of course 3 Pot of Dualities. Pretty basic draw staples. Then we have a card that I fell in love with when I started using it, is Symbol of Friendship. Now, in order to activate Symbol of Friendship, you have to draw it during your draw phase where your opponent has 3 monsters or more and you have 0 monsters on your side of the field. And when you draw this during your normal draw phase, you can reveal it to your opponent, and then during that main phase 1, you can activate it to add any card from your deck to your hand. Now, the downside is that if your opening hand has this card in it, or if your opponent doesn't have enough monsters on the field or something like that, this card is a dead draw, and that really sucks. But while testing, this card saved my ass a shit ton of times. Next up, we have the deck set of Creature Swap. Creature Swap is an essential card in this deck, and when I explain how this deck works at the end of the video, you'll understand why. But what Creature Swap does is both you and your opponent select a monster you control and give control of it to your opponent. For token producers, we have 3 Hippo Carnivals and 2 Scapegoats. Pretty simple right there. And of course we have the Seal Calicos. Now a lot of you may be saying, oh, you're just jumping on the bandwagon with Seal Calicos. Well, no, I was running the Seal before this whole fucking barrier deck thing came around. So no, I'm not jumping on the bandwagon with that. Sorry, but I'm not. Now, Jackpot 7 has no extra deck, so I'm just going to take a brief second to show off my pretty Karibo tokens and my wickedly awesome goat tokens. Next up, we have the extra deck. My extra deck has 15 cards in it. Starting up the lineup, we've got 2 Max C's. Now, Max C is a pretty stable card, so everybody should know what it does by now. And I know some of you are wondering, well, why don't you run it main board? Well, here's the issue. Sometimes your opponent only special summons once. So I don't want to have a dead draw Max C when my opponent has a full field of monsters. So it's sideboarded mainly for those decks that can clear their monsters quickly and do more than just one round of special summoning. We do have another hand trap in the side deck. It is Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit. Now, Effect Veiler would have worked for this deck, but Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit I found is way more effective than Effect Veiler because it destroys the monsters or the card effect as well, and it doesn't have to be used just solely on monsters. So Ghost Ogre is the upgraded version of Effect Veiler, at least in my opinion. Next up, we have Final Countdown. Again, this is just an alternate win strategy for the deck. You activate this, and if your opponent doesn't negate it, then the effect resolves. And after 20 turns, 10 of yours, 10 of your opponents, with the turn that you're activate this, starting as the first turn, then you automatically win the duel. So it's a pretty cool alternate win condition. Now, every now and then, I'll run into somebody who uses cards that prevent you from using effects during the battle phase. So that means the Menkos, the Battle Faders, the Scarecrows, etc. cannot be used. So in those situations, I like to pull out a nice little set of Swords of Revealing Light just to sort of counter those situations. For the final spell, we of course have Mystical Space Typhoon. Gotta have some way to destroy back row. It's, pretty necessary these days. Okay, for the deck set of, next we have the deck set of Breakthrough Skills. Again, monster effects are a pain in the ass against certain plays that I have. So Breakthrough Skill gives me the ability to negate those monster effects. Not only can I use it while it's on my field, but if it's my turn, I can banish Breakthrough Skill from my graveyard to use the effect again. So it's pretty awesome. Well, that's the updated Jackpot 7 deck profile. I will now going to go into how this deck works. First of all, you're going to want to normal summon your Dark Scorpion Burglars. Then you're going to want to Creature Swap Burglars to your opponent's side of the field. Once that's done, you want to take your Hippo Carnival and bring out your 3 tokens. Now at this point, you have your opponent with a 1000 attack point Burglars, and you also have you with 3 0 attack point Hippo tokens. Now, when Burglars deals damage to the opponent of the person that controls Burglars, the opponent must then send 1 spell card from their deck to the graveyard. So you get Burglars to your opponent's side of the field, they now control the effect. Use your tokens to attack into Burglars. Every time you take damage from one of those tokens attacking Burglars, Burglars is going to make you send a spell card from your deck to the graveyard. At that point, that's when you start sending your Jackpot 7s to the graveyard. Here's why. Because Burglars is controlled by your opponent. When it sends Jackpot 7 to the graveyard, the effect of Jackpot 7 activates and banishes itself because your opponent controls the card effect. Well, let me see here. Was there anything I missed here? I do not think so. So anyway, guys, let me know what you think of this deck. Are there any ways you can think of that the deck could be improved? Are there any ways you can think of that the deck is just, you know, too broken to do anything about? Just let me know in the comment section below what you thought of this deck. Also, I would love for people to get some new subscribers for my channel, you know, and you don't have to make your friends subscribe. You know, just tell them, hey, look, I found this new channel. He's looking for subscribers. Why don't you go on and take a look at the videos? You know, just something like that, saying to your friends, you know, get them on to view the videos and try to get them into subscribing on my channel, because I would love to see a bunch of new subscribers coming on an influx throughout the course of this year. Also, make sure you like the video, and like I said, leave me some constructive criticism in the boxes below. Let me know some things you might have done to change the deck, how you might run it, you know, etc., etc. But until next time, this is Harpy Hunter 89 signing off.